Balakun, a bridge to Ukraine. Join the conversation at balakun.co.
Балакун – міст в Україну. Долучайтесь до наших розмов на www.balakun.co.
Please subscribe!
Hello, welcome. This special episode, I'd like to talk to you.
I'm flattered.
Where are you from?
I'm from Crimea originally, but last 7, I guess, years I live in Kiev.
Growing up in Crimea, did you live near the ocean, near the sea? Sorry.
Yeah. I lived on the southern coast, where there are all that mountains and sea, and there is a brand different climate. It's more of a subtropical one, where you have very hot but humid summer and very mild winter.
And do you miss the sea?
I do. I really do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a lot of practice before you? I think you mentioned once that in Crimea there are a lot of tourists, so you were able to practice with people there.
Yeah, I used to work in a hotel on reception for a couple of years, and as Crimea was very popular place for tourists. Uh, there were many tourists from different countries coming to the hotel, and practice my English with them, and even I tried to practice my German. Studied German for a couple of years in school. I know just grammar. I have forgotten almost all the words, but still I tried to. It was fun for those people from Germany, but they supported me. They when I tried to switch back to English, then na, du sprichst Deutsch.
News, what's in news?
The news for today, for this week, is cyber units of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine conducted another successful special operation in Russia. This time they attacked the tax system of the aggressor state. During the special operation, military intelligence officers managed to break into one of the well-protected key central servers of the Federal Taxation Service, and then into more than 2,300 of its regional servers throughout Russia, as well as on the territory of temporarily occupied Crimea. And as a result, all servers were infected with malware. At the same time, the Russian IT company, which serviced the Russian Federal Taxation Service, was attacked in the same way. As a result of 2 cyber attacks, the configuration files, which have been ensuring the functioning of the extensive taxation system of the Russian Federation for years, were completely eliminated. The entire database and its backup copies were destroyed. That's the very promising news of the couple of days ago. Like, we are taking the most good news from this week, and the bad one, that Russians broke one of 3 cell mobile providers, and for 3 days, people who use Kyivstar don't have any reception. And it involves mobile phones, it involves mobile internet, and it involves some land internet. So it's the bad news of the week, and actually there were we realized how this mobile operator infiltrated all the services, even government services. Like in some regions, air alerts were off due to it
Mm-hmm.
or because of it.
Yeah, Yana was saying in the lesson this morning that they had a different alert
Hmm.
today. Remember?
No, 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 no. That's not about it. That's the alert that everyone receives on their phones.
Oh, I see.
It's very devastating sound. It's very irritating sound. It's
Yeah.
not the sound of that you can set up. It's
Uh-huh.
the system sound of the phone. It's very loud, and it works even if your phone is on the plane mode or it's mute. Uh, it's that's
How often does that alarm go off? I'm just curious.
it's testing one. It was testing for Yana.
Oh yeah.
Uh, or maybe she used Kyivstar, so that was the testing because I haven't received this one this time. It started last summer, 2022, and it was for the case that no mobile reception
Mhm.
was, and in case for nuclear alert.
I had another question. Did like one cyber attack happen and then the other one was a response, or did they both just happen
They were simultaneous.
simultaneous? Wow.
Hmm. It could be a response. There was some things like Ukrainian defense have or has stro stroke some oil base in Crimea, and then
Mm.
there was in some time there was very huge missile attack for Ukraine, and many people say, "Oh, it's in return." No, it's not in return. They just do it. They do it all the time. They do it constantly. They
Mm.
are trying all their means. Uh, they're using missiles. They use informational attacks, cyber attacks. It's not in return. It's just uh, even if something uh, in is happening at the same time.
It's
Uh,
just a coincidence.
it's not. Yeah, it can be coincidence. It doesn't have to be related anyhow.
Yeah.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
I have a good news story.
Oh,
I've decided all my news on this podcast is going to be good news.
yeah. I tried myself to bring you good news only today,
Okay.
but I have two related ones.
Yeah. A fossil thought for years to be a plant turned out to be a baby turtle, and the surprised researchers have nicknamed it Turtwig after a Pokemon character that is half turtle, half plant.
Oh.
From 1950s to the 1970s, a priest collected rocks and fossils in Colombia, and two of the specimens he found were small rocks patterned with lines that looked like leaves. He classified them as fossilized plants. But a new study published found that they weren't plants at all. They were the remains of baby turtles. Um, and they're thought to be 113 to 130 million years old from the dinosaur days. So there's a Pokemon fossil. That's my good news of the week.
So Pokemons are real.
What's in news?
The other thing I wanted to ask about was why you joined Balakun. Why are you here?
Why am I here? Why am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? In the first place, I wanted to master my English. I wanted to improve it. I needed much talking as I was starting to forget English in the beginning when I started talking in Balakun project. It was very hard for me to choose right words, and I forgot many words. Afterward, I knew that those words, and afterwards, when the conversation is over, I thought about those words that I know actually, but they didn't come to mind very fast. So it was the matter of practice. Uh, I consider my English not that bad, but I have to improve it as mm, I just need it. Uh, that's it. It's not that I want to gain some certificate or I have to use it in my work very very often. Yet it's just part of me knowing English. It was always part of me, like being able to speak English. And when I realized that I am forgetting it, I thought that I should do something. And I've seen that tweet from Boris that told that I have this amazing teacher and she's starting a project, and I thought, why shouldn't I join it? And if I have this opportunity, I can join it. Maybe I will make some difference at the first place, or maybe I just be a part of it. Maybe I'll be just a student. And I thought maybe I could join it as a mentor myself. I have this knowledge. I can share it with other people. It's very important for Ukrainians to know English, to be farther from that Soviet agenda. Like we all know Russian, some of us know Ukrainian, but we don't know English. We're a modern nation, and many of Ukrainians know English, and it is crucial for more people to know it.
How useful is it talking to someone who isn't a teacher but just is a fluent speaker? Does it help?
It's a great practice, actually. If you talk to a person and you enjoy the conversation, you are forgetting that he is going to teach you something.
Mhm.
You're just having a conversation. You're just having fun. You're just having this bound.
What we found overwhelmingly is nobody wants lesson plans. They just want to practice talking, um, which I think is great because the people mentoring aren't necessarily teachers. And I've even had comments like, my student understands this concept of grammar better than I do because they learnt it at school.
Yeah, and you just talk.
Yeah. Whereas we just know it inherently.
Yeah, that's the thing that a student can teach teacher more than teacher can teach a student sometimes.
Okay, are you ready for your word?
Try to pronounce it.
Today we had a slide. Conversation. We'll take conversation word as a word. Rozmova.
Rozmowa, rozmowa,
Roz,
roz,
mo,
roz, rozmowa,
no, va.
rozmowa,
Rozmova.
rozmowa.
Yeah. When you have a verb,
Mhm.
rozmовляти. It's the palatalization that we talked yesterday with Yana. Розмовляти. Not lati, but ляти.
Liate,
Ля, ляти. Yeah,
liate,
розмовляти.
rozmowliate, rozmowliate.
And let's try something more difficult. Сьогодні ми мали чудову розмову. Today we had a great conversation. Сьогодні ми мали чудову розмову. Сьогодні
Сьогодні
ми мали
ми мали
чудову
чудову
розмову.
розмову. Сьогодні ми мали чудову розмову.
Great. Now you have the whole sentence.
Okay, I've got a word for you that's nothing to do with what we were talking about. It's just hard.
Okay. Anonym,
An enemy. An enemy.
an enemy.
An enemy. Yep.
Wow. How have you actually started Balakun? And at the very, very beginning, like when it was no Balakun and was yourself.
I have all these people who I want to teach, and there's not enough time. And I put this post on Twitter, it just snowballed. And all of a sudden, I had 60,000 people who had viewed this tweet. And it was really inspiring as well, because there was all these people saying, that's a great idea. How can I help? How can I help? So I answered 5 or 6 of them, and they became the first people who helped me put things on social media and create forms and create a database. That's the Balakun backstory.
It's a very promising one actually, because when I've seen this initiative, I thought, wow, it's really great. So people can have not just learning, they can have communication while we are striving these times. We have some hope for future, and learning English is about future. Studying English is about future. Is believing that there is a future. What about today's facts?
Fun fact.
One of the modern checkpoints on the border between Ukraine and Slovakia divides the village in half, forming Mali Salmancy and Veliki Salmancy. This happened because the village of Salmancy was one divided between the USSR and Czechoslovakia right along one of the streets. You have this village that is divided into two different countries.
Do you feel like you're at home now in Kiev?
No.
Will it never be home?
I don't know where my home is anymore. I feel settled here.
Settled. Okay, settled.
Yeah, but not at home. In 2014, I've written that tweet. I've already deleted most of the tweets as I was crossing borders, and I didn't want to get in any trouble because they could obviously read them. And I wrote this one. I don't want to leave Crimea, as I am going to sit and watch how people in Crimea start to suffer and people in Ukraine start to blossom. And I've moved to Kiev. I've moved with a job to Kiev, having a job already.
Mm-hmm.
So the job wasn't the point.
Yeah.
I lived there for some time, and first I thought that it wasn't. It was temporary. I didn't believe that it was for that long. And now, and in some time, I just things didn't change. Anything changed, and I just made a decision to move.
Mm-hmm.
This is I wasn't comfortable there, and when I crossed the border, when I moved to just first moments on the free Ukrainian land, how pathetic it can sound, but that was the feeling. There were Ukrainian flags and Ukrainian anthem, and it was very emotional moment that time.
Mm.
Like seeing Ukrainian flags after seeing those three-colored
Yeah.
stripes there.
Do you have a lot of friends who are still in Crimea?
No, I have none of them already. I had a couple of friends that I talked to, but we don't talk anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because after full-scale invasion, none of them asked me how I was doing, was I alive, or is everything okay? Was everything okay with me? It's very sad, but that's reality.
Do you ever imagine what life would be like if you hadn't left?
I can't imagine it. I thought about it. What if I read Ukrainian literature less? What if I studied Ukrainian history less? Would I be that crazy Z patriot? Maybe I would, because I have that background that many people around me told that Russia is good, Soviet Union was great, and if I was on that page, where would I be? How would I act? What would I do? How would I think? What people would be around me? I don't know. And the worst thing that I see many people who are teachers of history, teacher of Ukrainian language and literature, who yielded to propaganda. There was a student, he studied in the same university as me. He's a couple of years younger than me, actually. He's a history teacher. And it was hard for me to see that, on his Facebook, that he supported all the madness of the Russian world in Crimea before full-scale invasion, obviously. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't care. I saw that time, and that was enough for me. I wasn't close to him. I just knew him. We just worked together. I knew that he was a great student back in school, and that's it. And he seemed to be a thoughtful person, and he just switched. I don't know how a person who studied, who learned Ukrainian history, or learned Ukrainian, or read Ukrainian literature, especially the literature of 20th century or 19th century, like the person who read Тигролови by Ivan Bagriani, that's about the Gulag. It's prison camp in Russia, in Soviet Union. How the person who read this novel could support Soviet Union or Russia in the first place. I don't know how come. We can do the meme explanation now.
Okay.
Explain your meme.
It's a meme in a meme. This guy in the meme saying таке чувство, якесь, що Бог десь нас наказує за щось. It's a meme from, it's a quote from football player Михайло Кополовець, and he after we've lost semi-final after his team lost semi-final of the Ukrainian Cup in April 2012. So she told this. He has a feeling that God punishes them for something, and he guesses that he knows what's it about, but he cannot tell it. They go to the church before every game, and before every and every he told not in standard Ukrainian language but in regional Ukrainian language, like it's was some sort of dialect. And this phrase that there's a feeling that God punishes us for something, it is widely used in many memes in Ukraine, and his face is a meme already for this phrase. So his face is used for this situation with Kyivstar outage.
Yeah.
And we also have in Kiev, we have a damage of one of the metro station, and the whole district is cut off the metro,
Wow.
and people have to take buses, and there's a very big, there is a huge traffic jam there, and this guy is used as a meme for those inhabitants of Holosivo district, those who have Kyivstar mobile phone. So they cannot reach the place of work or the place they need to reach. They need to go, and they cannot even call a taxi because they have no reception.
I see. Uh, yeah, double whammy.
Yeah, and there's such a feeling that God
God
just
punish.
punishes for something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's rather sad, and many memes are built upon this situation for people who live in Holosivo with Kyivstar mobile phone,
hmm
mobile network.
Is it working now?
It's not working yet. It's starting to recover, but not yet. You mentioned that I was the first student on Balakun. It's surprised me.
I was looking back through the list for some reason, and I saw you, and I remember your email because it was quite memorable. And then I saw that because we have this Google form, and the first few names in the form are my students, because I was like, hey, can you help me test this form? And a couple
Uh-huh.
did. And then the first new email address was yours. And then I went back into my inbox and found that you actually wrote me an email because that was when everything was just getting started. And I sent out a group email saying, hey, if you send a video, it will help with the verification. And you sent an email back saying, oh, I've already talked to Tatiana.
Mm-hmm.
Do I still need to pass the test or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I found that
Yeah, there was some video like saying Paляниця.
it's difficult to know what to say to someone or how to talk to somebody who's in a situation that you just have no experience with. What do you actually say to someone? What do you want to hear? Or do you not want to hear anything?
Just ask what you want to talk about, because there's the big problem talking to people who return from frontline,
Mm-hmm.
like many people, some people, not many people. I hope that there are few. Ask, have you killed? And that's not the question. That's that one should ask
Mm.
a guy from the front line. Or how was it? How did you feel? Or just make a person tell on his own terms, on their own terms.
So just what do you want to talk about?
Mm-hmm. Or for any question, are you comfortable talking about it?
My next question is, what do you want to achieve with this podcast?
As I proposed a name of it, A Bridge to Ukraine, I wanted to build a bridge, actually, like informational bridge. And like the Balakun itself is some sort of a bridge between English-speaking people and Ukrainian-speaking or Ukrainians. And this podcast itself is more of what we want people from English-speaking countries or people who know English well know about Ukraine. It's not that I'm some sort of specialist in any of topics we are talking about. I just have this information from inside. I live in Ukraine. I've lived in Ukraine for my whole life. And I see all the transformations that are taking place around. I see all the perceptions from the outside, and I wanted to change some perceptions. I wanted to add some true voice. I can do much research. I am following many educational or informational bloggers on YouTube. I listen to some podcasts. I'm learning myself. I'm learning Ukraine myself because we Ukrainians don't have that much understanding of Ukraine ourselves. We have more of perverted perception ourselves, even. And there are a lot of podcasters or YouTubers who change this perception, who show the real Ukraine to Ukrainians. And why can't I show it to people from other countries? I just doing my what I can do. It's not much. I could do better, but we are just starting.
And it's fun.
Yeah, we're just having some fun in the process. We are communicated. Me and you are communicating. We have those open sessions where we can also have communications, and we can have that much fun. We can laugh all the session. We can tell funny stories, but everything is with this meaning.
Did you think of a joke for today for this one?
What a joke! Ha 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 ha!
What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. One thing I want with this podcast is to be a consistent outlet. I want it to be a regular thing that people enjoy listening to and come back to see what we have to say the next week.
Mhm. We have to add some wood to the dome all the time, constantly.
Balakun, a bridge to Ukraine. Join the conversation at balakun.co.